Alright, we're going to make a front page theme in LockPlus. Something I saw on Twitter earlier and looked pretty nice, so I want to replicate the setup. We do have themes set, so whenever we have a theme set, it automatically throws it in Creator just in case we want to edit somebody else's theme. We don't need it, so we'll clear screen. When you clear screen here, it will also clear screen on LockPlus. And you start trying to replicate what you saw. I'm going by memory here, so it won't be exact, but there was a blurred panel. Before I do this, we'll take the box. I just added a simple box. It's great for creating backgrounds, docs. You can even add images to the box. Multiple things. So we do want to add this to, let's go ahead and start our main panel. So custom panel 0 is going to be our main panel. Panels have this feature now where you can name them. So we'll just name it main panel. This is useful for if you have a lot of elements on the screen, you go to place the elements. It doesn't say custom panel 0, it says main panel. So it's a reference to the panel itself. That's all it is, just naming to help you find things better. We do want this to be down here somewhere. It's going to be a bottom setup. There's going to be icons here and a date here. The panel will come up. Maybe you'll have like a drawer icon or something else. We want this box to be full width, and we want it to be set to the far side, so left 0. Our custom panel 0, let's make sure its left is 0. And we want to make this pretty big. Yeah, that's good. We want it to be white blurred. So we'll go white, we'll give it some opacity to about there. Then we'll want to give it a background blur. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I figure out. There it is. 5 pixels is good. So we exit. You can see the background behind it is blurred. Let's see what 10 pixels will look like. Actually, let's go with that. Alright, we need some more elements, so let's add an element. We want a clock. We'll go with a padded. So you can see it's 136 or 0136. I like the padded. We need a date. And let's go for a padded date as well. Move it out the way. We want a day, Thursday. We want a month. We want a month text, June. And let's add all these to the panel. So we'll just go. If you hit the trash can, that takes you to delete element. Would you scroll up a little bit? That's where add panel is. I use it all the time for adding panels. We can't see our panel menu. That is a bug. Let's try that again. We'll just add all these in. Okay, so they're all in our panel, but all in the corner. We don't want them in the corner. We do want the date in the corner. We want our date to be roughly here. Our time. We do want to set the width on it. We want to make sure it's aligned left, which it is. It's not center, it's not right, it's left. It's going to stay on the left side. The date, let's just move this. The date we want to be big. It's pretty big, and let's make our width and our height bigger so we can actually align it center. If your width is small, there's nothing to align it to. So you always want to make your width wider so it has something, especially if you use align center. Let's go ahead and find a font. This is usually the most time-consuming part. Either you find a font in LockPlus that you like, which I kind of like that Baloo, or you add your own fonts, which you can. That's a little rounded. Burial's not as rounded, so let's leave that. When font creators create fonts, sometimes they choose their own sizes. So whenever you add a font, just make sure the container is outside the font. I could probably find an example to that if we don't run into it, but this one we want like a scripted font. Scripted fonts are the ones who usually go outside the containers. That's a nice font. Yeah, as you see here, I moved it so you don't see it there. Let's see if I can exit and come back in. Yeah, if you can see, the Y is cut off at the bottom. And that's simply because our container, well, the font creator went outside the set container, but our container is short as well. So we can adjust our container and it will render the entire thing. We also want this to be wider because it's Thursday. Imagine if it was Wednesday, it would be wider. Wednesday's the widest day, so compensate for that. We also want to move, see how it's at the butted to the very top? We want to kind of get it down. I always oversize the width just to make up for other days. If you want to test how it will look, just add an element, miscellaneous, text, custom text too. And we can go here and type in Wednesday. And we can add that same font we used. Just go to applied fonts, choose it, and we would go to the same size of 22. And you can adjust the width and center it. So you see our width of 122 fits it fine. So if we go here and check our width, we are at 189. So we could go down to 122 or just 130, somewhere around in there, just so you get a general idea of what Wednesday would look like. And you can't see all of that day on top of the date. You can't see it very well, so we'll just change the opacity of the date. You can do that in the color picker and just change the opacity. And now it's readable. font for, let's see, we have Burial. See if we can find a light version of Burial. Actually, I like that Acrobat. And I want to do uppercase. And we'll make it real small. We need to adjust our width again on this element. It looks like it's in the center, so we don't have to mess with the line height. We want it to be a line center. And let's position it. I don't really like the date font. It's not very centered. But we do want something bold. Well, let's just go with it. I'm not going to spend the entire time going through fonts. Speaking of fonts, let's apply this one. We used, what was that? Acrobat's apply font. Make the date a little smaller. I mean the time. Offset it a little bit, move it. We want the left to be 0. And we can delete this. We don't need that element. We'll see what, actually, we need to make sure our panel is left at 0. And actually that's going to be longer, but just get an idea of what it looks like full screen. And we need to move the day down a little bit, and I'll be fine with it for now. Okay, we may have an issue here. I have the date selected now. Let's check the Z index, which is probably 2. We want it to be below the time. So if we go to placed elements and we go to the day, we want the day. We want to make sure the day is always going to be on top. So we'll change that Z index. Z index is up and down. So we want to make sure it's higher than the date. So it's always going to be on top of the date, never below it. And on this box, the box is always going to be below everything. So we'll just put like -5 on there, just to make sure it's always underneath. And I guess I moved the month. So click the menu, placed items, and go to month. Let's just make it wider. Centered. You could use boxes to align that, but we're good for now. I'll get tedious with it later. So now it's for apps. I want to have a 4x2, 4 apps by 2, 4 horizontal by 2 vertical apps. So to add an app placeholder, you go to Add Elements Placeholder. Front page, Add Placeholder. And we want this to be kind of small, so 35 maybe. I think 35 will be fine. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, we could definitely fit 4x2 there. If you add one placeholder, change the size, all the other placeholders you add will be the same size. We want a 4x2, that's 8 icons, we've added one. So let's go ahead and add 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have 7 placeholders. Wait, 7 placeholders. We want to have the apps in their own panel. So add the panel, instead of selecting the panel we already created, we'll add a panel. And we have a separate panel. The reason we're doing this is because the panel has an align grid option, which will align placeholders, so we don't have to move them, we don't have to align them manually. Let's add all these placeholders to the panel that we just created. And then we'll see what align grid does. So we have our panel. Let's just change the width to something we think we're going to use. Probably something like that. If we move it down here. Actually, it's probably going to be wider. Let's keep it short so I can show you. So if we go to an align grid, well, if we select the panel, because it's the only thing that has the option in align grid, if we move this up, you can see what it's done. It's tried to align these icons in the box that we made. Now you can still adjust some things, but it's not what we want. We don't want a 3x3, we don't want a 2x, and it's all going out. So if we select the panel, custom panel 1, and we change the width to something we want our icons to be in this area. And then we go to align grid. See, it's getting better. Still not good at, well, if we moved it in, we could get a 4. Actually, yeah, I want the gap between the icons to be a little bit more than that, and keep the 4. So what we can do, we can go back to our panel width, because it's trying to align them to the width of the panel. And we just up this width, and then go back to align grid. There we have all our icon width. That's the 4x4, 4x2 we wanted. Now, will it fit? Will it fit next to our date? Time and look decent. We do have to compensate for Wednesday to get bigger, but we could just change the size of this to be a little bit smaller. And we want to center our panel, our app panel, with the date. I think that's the best way. Custom panel 1, which we could change the date of that, but we don't have a lot of, we could change the name of it, but we don't have a lot of panels, so we really won't get too confused. And let's just see how that looks like. Yeah, that's decent. We can move it left a little bit more, I'd say, and maybe down. Our time needs to be moved over as well. This is just nitpicky stuff. It's not really functional things. It's just getting it how you want it to look. that for now. Well, actually, let's move this down a little bit. Okay. Now let's add an element. Well, let's add something up here that we can touch, and it'll move this whole thing up. Because if we grab our first panel, I was going to say you can move everything, but you can't because we never added our custom panel 1, which is holding on our apps, to the main panel. We created a panel just for the apps so we can align grid to that panel, but we can add that panel to our main panel, so we'll do that now. We will have to align everything again. We'll just look here. Yeah, we will have to do all that again, but it's not an issue. Add the panel, and we want it to add to our first panel. As you see, it moved it to 0, 0. That's what it does when you add it to panel. It adds all elements to 0, 0. And we'll just stick this back to where it was. We'll get about the center of the day. That's good. We'll move this down just a little bit, and we'll look at it. And it looks good. So, to add our button that animates this panel up, first, our box underneath the blur box, we need it to be taller. Because the reason we're putting this button is to animate it up. And the reason I want to animate it up is because I want a drawer button. So we'll add an element, we'll add a miscellaneous item box. I'm just going to make a button instead of looking through the symbols. We want it to be skinny. We want to change the color of it to white. We want to give it like a border radius. Yeah, 2. That looks good. So we'll add this box we just made to the main panel. And we can't select it now, so we'll just go here, we'll box we added. And let's move it. We want it to be about center of the time. And then over here. Okay. Now, we're going to use this as a representation of a button because it's very hard to tap that little button. So we'll add another element, another box. We'll add that box to the panel. I need to fix that menu. And we'll put it on top of what we're showing as the button. So by placing that there, if we tap on it, then it's a bigger area for us to tap. We also want to make sure our Z index is above, because we want to tap it, not the button underneath or anything underneath. And then we can just change this color to transparent. So it looks like we have a little button, but in fact we do have a little button, but we have a button on top of it that's a bigger, easier to press. Let's go ahead and add a symbol for a drawer. I could make one with boxes, but I kind of like, I believe it's that one. or fingerprint, or yeah, let's go with this. Make it bigger. We'll add it to our main panel. I don't think we'll be able to select it. Oh, we did. And I just want it over here. Now this one we can make the width pretty. We can make it pretty big, so we won't need to put a box under it or on top of it, so it's easier to press. Yeah, let's go with something like that. Let's go ahead and add it. We want this to open the door, so we'll add an action. It's a single action, and we want it to open the drawer, so that'll open the drawer when in FrontPage. We exit, check it out. It's decent. So let's get our custom panel, our first panel, into position. And make sure the left is 0. We should not see, we don't want to see that button. So we need to go down more. You can also go to settings and set BG color. It'll change the color of the background of the creator. So see, we can see a little bit better of what's showing and what's not. Yeah, so that's where we want it. And let's change that color back because I don't want to be staring at red the entire time. Okay, now we need to create the animation that will move this drawer up. So if we go to Actions, Affect Item, we want to affect our main panel, Custom Panel 0. And what we want it to do is move up and down. So we want it to move in the Y-axis. We want it to move negative. We'll have to guess. I know that's not 100 pixels, but we'll see what it does. Yeah, that's way too much. So we need to move like 20 or 30 pixels. So we'll select it again. Go to Actions. We already have one. We'll just change the Y to say negative 30. And let's see what that does. Okay, let's go to like negative 35 or 40. Yeah, negative 40. Action, Y, negative 40. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, it's way too slow though. So we'll select it again, we'll go here, we'll change it, we'll click it, we'll do speed. I want to do 100 milliseconds. And yeah, let's see what that does. Should be pretty quick. Yep. So it's just pop up to give you your drawer icon, so you don't have to have it placed anywhere else. The date and stuff it definitely needs moved over. I'll do that probably after I'm done with this, but we've got it pretty much set up. We have our placeholders, we have our information, we have an animation. We did set that to open a drawer, so now we could just export this to FrontPage. So we'll go to Export, front page, and let's give it video theme. Click it. When it goes screen, the screen changes back to your LockPlus theme, which we're in LockPlus now. You can unlock, go to front page, 2 fingers swipe down, and look for video theme, which should be close to the bottom, which is right there, video theme. If you select it, as you can see, our theme we just made in LockPlus is in front page. Our animation works, our drawer button works. As you see though, our labels aren't looking good. So if we tap holding on the icon, go to open menu, app options, toggles, we can hide labels. I also like badge auto color. You see our mail. If we can change to, let's see what other apps have notifications. eBay, Dropbox. So if we change this app to eBay, see how it's got a different badge. Change app to Dropbox, it'll have a blue. Change app to what else we got? That's all the notifications. Cydia's got a darker one. You can also go to the menu and go to drawer options, toggles, use current badge style. If we turn that on, now when we go into our drawer, they will also get that badge style. Even if we move the badge or whatever we do, there's a lot of options in the menu. Overlays, and you can move everything. App options, you can change the size of the apps. If we didn't like the size that we made in LockPlus, you can change the size of them. The roundness of the icons, the font size, badge images. There's a lot of things. Once you've exported the front page theme from LockPlus, there's a lot more you can do in front page. So you can reset it all to go back to stock, the stock way when you exported it. For now, we're just going to turn off these labels and turn badge auto color on, and that's pretty much it. You just created a springboard theme in LockPlus, and it's fully functional. You know, you tap settings and you open settings, and it's got a full drawer that shows you all apps, notifications. You can even have favorites. There's a lot more you can do with it, and some of the things that other people have created without, videos like this is pretty amazing. But this should help those who aren't familiar with front page or LockPlus, what they do. You can, a lot of these themes were made, like this one was made in LockPlus, and you could just have it in here and switch to it anytime you want. Or, if people create a LockPlus theme, which I'll show you that now. If we just go back to the lock screen, our theme is still here, the one we created. If we wanted to save this later, we could, actually this is gonna bug me, so let me do this before I do that, before I upload it. We just want to move this over. It just bugs me. Okay. If you wanted to upload this theme, either to share with somebody else or keep it, maybe you want to edit it later, you would just go to upload. Upload this theme. Once you upload, you can download it by the theme name. If uploading a theme used for front page, please add SB at the end. So if you put in your information, it'll keep it except for the name. We'll go video theme. It is for front page, so we'll do SB and upload. Little animation will show, and it'll tell you it's been uploaded. Now, if I was to change my LockPlus theme, say this one, no, that theme is entirely gone. The one we created is gone, but we did upload it, so you can search for it and video theme SB, submit, and it will download it from the server and bring it back. If you did not upload it, you would not have access to go in here and modify it and change it again. You would have to remake it. Also, it gives other people the ability to modify what you created. You know, maybe they didn't want a time there, or maybe they want a time a different color, or anything. They can just take what you've made, the time you spent on what you did, and just add more to it, or just modify it to their liking. And then all they have to do is go to the creator and export it to front page, and you know, they'll have it on their Springboard as well. And this file here, if you took it from the front page folder, you could send it to anybody with just front page, which is free, and they would have this. They wouldn't have the ability to edit it in LockPlus or create more in LockPlus, but they could have this theme as it is, without needing LockPlus to run it. But yeah, that's it. I hope it helps, you know, spark some creativity or give you a way to create your own front page themes and share them with everybody. Peace.